Around 700,000 people die by suicide every year around the world, with over 79% of cases taking place in low and middle income countries. In Kenya and 20 other countries, suicide is still considered a criminal offense. The penalty in Kenya for attempted suicide is up to 2 years in prison or a fine, or both. There are growing calls within the country and from organizations like the World Health Organization to decriminalize suicide, with campaigners saying these laws are making things worse. The BBC's Juma has more.
And this one is Jasmine.
Dad passed on, right? Why did he pass on?
He had depression, which is caused by stress.
Anne's husband, a teacher, had been living with depression for almost a year. Kefa's illness was triggered by an incident at work. He responded well to antidepressants for a while, but his depression kept recurring, and in 2018 he took his own life.
Jazz, I want to tell you what I am doing.
Frequent conversations about mental health in her home became a necessity, at least to shield her children from a society where stigma around suicide is very prevalent. Ever since her husband died, Anne says society has been unforgiving.
You're not expected to mourn someone who has died by suicide. My religious leader stood up during the burial and said, I don't want to hear anybody saying anything about this because this young man hung himself. It was presented as if it was a choice. He chose to die. It has been very stressful. There are times I've wanted to shut myself down because you're not sure what questions you will answer that day. There are times you don't even want to walk out and see the world.
People like Anne face a lot of stigma and discrimination. In many African communities, suicide and mental health issues remain a taboo topic, and the real stigma is happening within families, the neighbors, the police, the religious places, and this is making it harder for families to take care of their loved ones who are mentally unwell and to recover if and when they lose them. Some 500 people committed suicide in Kenya between April and June 2021, according to official statistics. Human rights and mental health organizations want to raise awareness on this problem and are actively campaigning for all countries to decriminalize suicide by 2030.
For those who do go through the criminal justice system as a result of a suicide attempt, it worsens the psychological distress. There are no psychology or therapy systems within the prison to support this person. And then when they leave, they have a double stigma of a mental health condition or a suicidal person and a criminal or an ex-prisoner.
But experts say a lot of work also needs to be done within families, religious settings and communities. They warn that continued discrimination against affected families could lead to mental health issues like depression and subsequent stigma reinforcing in families.
Stigma creates a sense of despair, right, for the surviving family members. But when you feel stigmatized or rejected, you go through depression. So if there were genetic predisposition to mental health challenges, then the environment is also contributing to stress, then you may find that there is a continuous series of suicide happening within a family.
The World Health Organization says that about 1 in 4 people who seek healthcare in Kenya have a mental health condition. Yet, there's very little literacy about the issues, even among primary healthcare workers. In June, the government unveiled a 5-year action plan to boost mental health structures, as well as increase funding. Caregivers hope that this will be used as a step to normalize conversations around suicide in the country as well. Juma, BBC News, Taita Taveta.
Still to come, Peter with all the sports.